Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 297 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my virtual brother from my mother, Sean.
How we doing?
Good. Max, how are you doing? You should have been here for the pre-show. If this is the first time you're ever seeing, hearing, or listening to us, this is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure to like the video, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, and everyone in betwixt. If you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop, where you can get the following benefits, and all of these stack. I'm spitting as I talk. I'm very sorry. For $1, you become a booster. We get the podcast live on YouTube 1 day early than the public gets it. $3 makes you a sponsor, where you get a bonus episode of the podcast every month. $5 makes you a producer, where you can watch us record the podcast live on YouTube, even when we are remote. $10 makes you an affiliate, where you get access to the monthly Q&A episode. And $20 makes you a partner, where you get to choose the bonus episode topic and record with us if you so choose. Some of our patrons deserve a shout out, just like our affiliates. James Solar, make sure you check out James Games and More on YouTube. He started posting again. Good for him. Sarah Solar, John Tingley, Derek Bamford, and Mom. Inside joke. I like inside jokes. I'd like to be part of one someday. Our producers, Steve Appleton, Aunt Sue, Dustin Downs, and Chris Peralta. Also, make sure you check out PS Rewind on YouTube. If you like cool t-shirts and the like, you can go to teespring.com/stores/2player-co-op. Sean.
Yes.
You said you had some witty banter. What do you got?
So my
wife
is out of town for the week. She's in Sweden. Hergy Durgy Schmergy. Shout out to all my Swedish brethren.
We have a lot. We have a lot of fans over there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been taking the time, once the kiddos are down, been taking the time to get caught up on some stuff. So over the last couple days, I watched Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh, how was it?
And Thor Love and Thunder. We'll start with Jurassic World.
Okay.
I think it's better than Fallen Kingdom. It's honestly probably the third best, and it's not saying a whole lot,
right?
But like it's one world, and then probably, I don't know, everything else. But I think Dominion is probably at the top of those, but it's really just not good. I think not the story, but like the premise, I guess, behind it is pretty good. I think just the execution was not very good. I won't spoil anything, but like there's just some just stupid parts. Like there was one part where, again, I'm not going to spoil anything too big, but I've just got to call these couple parts out. There's one part where there's something that's on fire, I will say, and somebody gets like a stick or a spear or something with the thing that's on fire on it, and a dinosaur is like, bah! And he goes, whoo, and he throws it like a javelin into its throat, and it's like, bah, 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 and it like breathes fire. Like,
what the frick? Are you serious?
And I'm like, okay, you just threw fire into his mouth, but it's not like it's something that would have.
He doesn't have gasoline or kerosene in his freaking throat. Yeah.
It's so stupid. Then there's another part where somebody's trying to like land. They're in a helicopter, or not a helicopter, but a some kind of futuristic helicopter looking thing. I don't know. And they're trying to land, and I think they're on a radio with somebody, and somebody's like, whoa, 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 don't land here. Don't land here. And the helicopter pilot's like, why? Whoa. And all of a sudden, like, there's a giant, like, brontosaurus or brachiosaurus or some kind of saurus underneath her. I'm like, you didn't see the thing? Like she was just coming down, like she's about to land, and the guy's like, don't land there. And then all of a sudden, whoa, my God, there's a it's just so stupid. There was a couple parts that I thought were cool, like callbacks or homages maybe, that I appreciated. The main villain in the movie, I won't spoil it, but I'm like, oh, okay. Unless we already knew it, but it seemed like it was new to me. But I don't, maybe it was something that was in Fallen Kingdom too. And
Were you like Leo? Were you like,
yes.
Okay.
So that was at least, that was something. But then there were also some other parts that I'm like, I don't know if this was meant to be a callback or just
just bad writing,
lazy writing. Yeah. And there's another part, again, I won't really spoil too much, where there's like, these two dinosaurs are fighting, but then this third dinosaur shows up, and they're all dinosaurs, but it might as well have been these two dinosaurs been like, all right, man, let's go. And they like both team up to fight the other dinosaur. I'm like, they wouldn't do that. Like they might all just like fight each other, but these two aren't going to be like, yeah, bro, come on, let's get him. And then like team up. It was just very weird. And like, I was falling asleep, so I had to stop, and I finished it the next day. And it's not like it was boring.
It was
like,
just bad.
Stuff happens. Yeah, it was just so bad. I don't know. It's like, I've never seen a movie that was so bad that it put me to, like, I've watched boring movies. This wasn't necessarily boring. It was just dumb. It was really bad. And as I'm talking about it, I'm like, I don't know. Was it better than Fallen Kingdom?
I think Fallen Kingdom gets a bad rap to me. I'm not saying it's a good movie. I'm not saying it's a good movie, but I think it's easily better than Lost World and 3. Not even close.
Yeah. The other thing that seems weird is, obviously we know about the cameos and stuff, but if somehow people don't, I won't explicitly mention it. But like Chris Pratt, oh, my cat just pooped and it smells so bad. Chris Pratt, I feel like, I will say this was the extended edition or whatever. It's whatever's on Peacock.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how much, this was like a 2 hour, and it was over 2 hours. It was pretty long. And so I don't know how much of it was specific to the extended edition or whatever they call it that wasn't in the theatrical. I have no idea because I never saw the theatrical. Chris Pratt almost seems like I don't want to say like a minor character, but like, I feel like he's just not really in it.
Really?
That much. Like, I would be shocked if he was on screen for more than like 30 minutes of the movie. I don't know. It's just, and maybe, I don't know, maybe when I was falling asleep, maybe that messed with my mind or something, but it just seems like he wasn't really in it a whole lot. Like, he was there and he plays kind of a pivotal role, but I don't know. Looking back, I'm like, I feel like I don't remember anything Chris Pratt even like said in the movie. It's just very weird. Not good. I would say it was as bad as people made it out to be. So last night,
wait. Okay.
Yeah.
So the original characters, I don't care about spoiling anything, because if anyone wanted to actually see this movie, they've seen it. Was it just like token stuff, or did it make sense that they were there? Were they any good? Also, are you trying to say earlier that they basically pulled a Batman versus Superman with these two dinosaurs fighting the Gigantosaurus? Is, I assume, what you mean?
That's not what it was, but it was two dinosaurs that were, I don't know. I don't really want to spoil anything, but like it was just, I think you
That's
should
fine.
watch it just because.
No, I'm going to, yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, Derek says Fallen Kingdom's like two different genres together. This almost felt like there were dinosaurs and all the familiar faces and all that, but it just did not feel like a Jurassic Park movie. It felt like it was trying to be like a horror movie.
Yeah.
But it wasn't scary, but it had like several like horror movie tropes in it. I don't know. It was just odd. I don't know. Like, it really was just bad. I don't know how else to say it. But like the plot, not the plot, but like the overall premise, like here's why this movie is happening, kind of makes sense. And I feel like you could have made a good movie out of it, but there was just so much weird stuff. The cameos were, I think they might be in it more than like Chris Pratt. Like they're a very big part of it, for better or for worse.
Hey, John, sorry, I was messing with my display settings. Sorry.
Okay, so I watched Thor last night. I will say this, I think, got a bit too... It was not as bad as people made it out to be.
Okay.
It's probably since Endgame, it's probably the third or fourth best MCU movie that I've seen. And so, I mean, it's behind Far From Home. It's behind No Way Home. It might be number 3. I don't know. Maybe Doctor Strange was better. I don't know. But like, it wasn't terrible. It was definitely better than the first 2 Thors and definitely not as good as Ragnarok.
Right.
It was just... Again, everything you've heard, all of the complaints about it are spot on. I just don't think it's as bad as people made it out to be. But like, it is just Taika. It reminded me of when
Chris says you're crazy. Thor was trash.
It reminded me of when Kira, and Kevin, you can probably appreciate it. You have 4 kids. It
That's
kind of
correct.
reminds me of when Kira, my oldest, does something genuinely funny and I laugh at it. And then she
just proceeds
to just do the same thing. Yes. Over and over and over again until it's just not funny anymore. And you're just like,
and you're
stop.
like, shut up. Yeah.
And I feel like that's what this is. Like, I think Taika nailed it with Ragnarok. It was awesome. And then he's like, oh, people like that? Well, no. Oh my God. You know what it is? Ragnarok is Michael Scott. Love and Thunder is Date Mike. Once and all of a sudden he like changed and tried to be like, it was just Taika just to the max, like way over the top. I don't know. It wasn't all bad, but it wasn't great. I will say again, I won't spoil anything.
I don't even care.
I was pretty wrong about something that I assumed in this movie and what it meant for the future. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Christian Bale was good.
But he was in it for like what, 5 minutes?
No, I mean, he was in it for probably 15, 20 minutes of, screen time in a 2-hour movie. But it just seems weird. It was just like he shows up and he's basically like, hey, I'm the bad guy. And then, oh, you beat me. I'm dead. Bye. Like, there was no, like, I just feel, I know a lot of movies introduce a new character to be, hey, here's the bad guy. But usually they're like, and here's why this is important. He just kind of shows up and then, spoiler alert, Thor wins and then he's gone. Like, it wasn't tied to anything. It just didn't.
This is this whole phase of the stupid MCU. I just don't understand
it was like
what they're doing.
They just needed a bad guy They probably looked in the comic
Like,
books,
ooh,
found
Gore the God
Gore,
Butcher.
and was
Cool.
like,
Let's get that guy.
let's go with that. So I do think Christian Bale was good, but personally, I just couldn't get over the fact, like, I love Christian Bale, but as I'm watching this movie, all I could think of is
Thor's fighting
Christian
Batman.
Christian Bale either has no idea what he's doing and is just taking a paycheck, but he's still going to give it his all.
He was taking a paycheck.
Yeah, it just does not seem like the kind of role that he would take. And I got to imagine he, in his head the whole time, is just like, what am I, like, I'm going to go all out for this, but dude, what am I doing here? What
he
is
said?
This movie? It just
no, dude. He said in the press junkets and stuff that he did not know what the MCU was when he took this role, and I'm like, bruh, you were Batman. How do you not know what the MCU is? Are you serious right now? Oh my gosh, yeah. They let Taika off the leash. It's like if it's kind of like what happened with Kojima with MGS4. I would assume. I mean, you've played MGS4. I haven't seen this movie, but like MGS4, there were parts of it I loved. But it was just Kojima, like, just freaking go nuts, dude. Just go do whatever you want. Bring back every character. People are getting married and they're dancing and they're doing Mr. and Mrs. Smith and all this, and it's fine. And then there's the cool microwave thing, but then it's also overshadowed by these weird female soldiers. And like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's the MGS4 of MCU movies, but I haven't seen it, so I could be wrong, but it just reminds me of that like Taika is clearly insane.
Yeah.
When you channel that insanity, you get Ragnarok. When you don't channel it, you get this is what's been my impression without having seen it. So I don't know. I will watch it. It's on Disney Plus.
That's fair. Yeah. No, and you should watch, like, it has its moment. Like, there was never a part where I was like, oh my God. And there was never a part where I was like laughing. It was just fine. Like, it was fine. Great soundtrack. I'll give it that. Oh, also kind of spoilery, but not really.
Are the Guardians even in it?
That's what I was going to say. Okay. That is a cameo. They're in it for the first 5-10 minutes. And I remember the whole time thinking, all right, when are they going to come back? No, they're done. They're not there very long. So don't get too hopeful. Don't get too attached to them.
That's so
I thought it was basically as Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
That's what it was
almost everything they do. Yeah. You see almost everything they do in the trailer. I was thinking for sure they would come back and they just didn't. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. To Derek's point, Phantom Pain was the same way. He took so long, they didn't have an ending for it. Well, it's all, nobody really knows, but I'm pretty sure based on Kojima and based on the name of the game, I'm pretty sure the way the game came out is the way he wanted it to be, for better or worse. I do think as much as it was the best playing Metal Gear game ever, the story, although I love the twist, and if y'all don't know it, I'm not going to say it. I like the twist. It makes Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2 make sense. But the rest of the story was just not there. And it's not like even if 51 was in there, if Mission 51 was in there, it wouldn't have been like, palatable. Like it's, I think he set it up the way he did for a reason. It's called the Phantom Pain for a reason. I was more hyped for that game than any game I've ever played in my entire life. I really thought it was going to be the missing link, which you could say technically it is the missing link, but it's a missing link with a whole bunch of other questions. But I don't know. I love Metal Gear first and foremost for the story. And I thought that was the weakest part of 5, even though I did like the ending, although you had to play the same mission twice at the beginning and the end, which was really, really, really weird. I thought they could have done that in a better way. But when you see N13, I was like, oh my God, it's happening. And he's putting it in an MSX. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's happening. And my dog's barking. And I don't mean my feet. I mean my actual dog.
A couple more things. One other thing I wanted to mention, and this may very well be like comic book accurate. I don't know. There was something else in the movie that made me think that, and I don't remember what it was. But anyways,
Metal Gear.
One thing in this movie that I just was like, it was just full on face palm. I remember what it is. Mjolnir to some extent, but definitely Stormbreaker in this movie are like,
they're like anthropomorphic or whatever.
Yes. Like he talks to them and like he kind of is like, I don't know, wanting to use Mjolnir again, and like Stormbreaker is like acting like I don't know. It's just so stupid and over the top. The other, I don't want to spoil it. There's something in this movie why Stormbreaker. This is what I was thinking about being comic book accurate. There's a plot point in this movie about Stormbreaker being like a key to something and having a purpose. But I'm watching it and I'm like, Stormbreaker didn't exist until, in our world, a few years ago in Endgame,
right.
Or not Endgame, Infinity War. And this, it's like, and I guess you could explain it as like a prophecy or something, but they find like, I don't even remember what it was because I think I also finished this the second day because I was falling asleep the first night. They find some kind of like, not literally cave paintings, but basically cave paintings, some kind of like prophecy type thing where it's like showing Stormbreaker. I'm like God of War. I guess maybe that's exactly. Yeah. And maybe that is the explanation. It was just some kind of like prophecy because it's all, mythology and whatever. But I'm like, how is Stormbreaker the key to this thing if Stormbreaker didn't even exist until Groot decided to like give his arm to be a handle for this thing? Like, I don't know. It's very odd. I think it's worth a watch. Like, it was better than Dominion. I mean, apples and oranges, but like, I definitely enjoyed it more than Dominion, but it was also just very weird. I will leave it at that.
All I know is
and also getting caught up on chat finally. James, yes, I saw Jojo Rabbit. I think that was phenomenal.
I've never seen it, but it's supposed to be good. But also, John said, I thought you were going to say Thor wanted to get romantic with Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. I would love to know where those, never mind, where those things
I would not like to know.
Go. Yeah. Oh my God. Any other witty banter about anthropomorphic weapons?
No, I think we covered it.
My only witty banter is that I've been sick for 2 days. I'm just so friggin' tired, exhausted. The wife was gone with my baby girl over the weekend in Chicago. And I was like, okay, she's home now. I'm going to sleep. I didn't sleep at all last night, but I didn't sleep because I was sick. I haven't thrown up, but I feel just queasy and nauseated. Not nauseous, right? Nauseated.
I think they're both fine. I think that's a whole bunch of...
Mom says you can't say nauseous.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Okay. I felt nauseated / nauseous, but I have not.
Adjective. Okay. Affected with nausea, inclined to vomit.
Okay. I have been inclined.
I don't see anything on here saying nauseous isn't really a word. It's nauseated.
Okay. So no, I know it's a word, but yeah. She would say, well, the AP style dictionary thing, whatever.
Yeah.
I've just felt like crap for 2 days now. And I'm so tired. So I'm pushing through this. Part of me wanted to say, let's do it tomorrow, but I didn't want to do that. I see you've got your heating up coffee mug thing. By the way, text me a link for that because Jess might want that for Christmas or birthday, and she'll never watch this. So yeah. So yeah, I'm just exhausted, but I'm gonna power through. And I have no other witty banter. So Sean, do you want to get to what we've been playing?
I do.
All right. Did you beat it?
I beat it.
You did? Awesome.
I did. I'm in the middle of.
Are you
Left
going to get the
Behind
platinum?
now. Oh yeah. I decided not halfway through. I decided pretty early on. I'm like, I'm just going to play this with a guide. Like,
I feel
love
like I'm
this
not
game.
finding any collectibles.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if I'm just depending on myself to just stumble across all these, I'm like, I'm basically going to have to go through and play the game twice. Because even though I can choose the chapters, I'm going to have to replay every single chapter and just follow the guide then. And I'm like, I've played the game before, so I don't have a problem just playing through it with a guide for the collectibles. So I did that pretty early on. So I only had a few things from way in the beginning that I had to go back and get again. Yeah, I beat it. Now I know this is a 9-10-year-old game technically.
9. Yeah.
But I'm sure there are people who have not played it on PS3 or PS4 and maybe are just playing now. So I will try to stay away from spoilers. That being said, having not played this game, so I only played the game once, and it was right when I got my PS4. So 2015, I think.
Or no, it was 2015.
14?
Yeah.
Yeah, 15. And somehow nothing, either nothing was spoiled for me or it was spoiled and I had totally forgotten about it by the time I played the game. That being said, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but I knew that I liked it. Now, and it's probably just due mainly to changes in my own life and having 2 kids since then, it hit me way harder. Just the game as a whole, not just that part, but like the whole thing.
That part at the beginning or that part at the end? Or both? Okay.
This game and this exact, I mean, if you don't want to pay $70 for this game, if you don't think it's worth it, I get it. I'm not going to argue it. But this is the definitive, this is the way to play it. Just like when Ocarina came out on the 3DS, I think that's the best version of that game.
Yep.
This is the best version of this game. I don't know where I put it in my top 50, top 10, top 20, top 100, top 75, whatever we've done. This, I think, is in my top 10 somewhere. And I don't think I had it there before. I think the gameplay is good to great. It's not like anything earth shattering, but it's fun. It works. It's very good, whatever. But the story is just like, I know you say that Metal Gear Solid 3 and Uncharted 4 and God of War maybe are like the best stories ever told in a video game. I mean, for me, it's probably Final Fantasy 7, probably Final Fantasy 10. But those are both all like fantastical, whatever. This is just, I know this is not.
But it is.
I wouldn't put it.
No, I know.
It is. Like, I wouldn't put it completely out of the realm of possibility. But it's pretty grounded, at least compared to, Final Fantasy and stuff. And I think it's just such an awesome story. And also having gone through and played part 2 since I played part 1 and knowing kind of how everything ultimately plays out. This is one of the best just video games, period, and video game mainly due to its story, I think I've ever played. And I think it really, I know you think what you think about part 2, but like, and I love Joel, but and I'm not saying I wouldn't have done the same thing, because I probably would have, certainly if it was actually my daughter, and probably if it was a person that I had gotten so attached to, I probably would have made the same decision at the end. But like, that sucks. Like, I get why he did what he did, but man, like, I felt very conflicted at the end. And I think that's the idea. I think you're supposed to, but I remember the first time I played it just being like, yeah, attaboy, Joel. And this time I was like, ooh, man, I don't know. It really got to me this time around.
Yeah, because then you think about how, oh, this one chick is really nice and she likes dogs and she pets dogs, and then Ellie has to kill dogs, and Ellie kills a pregnant woman, even though the pregnant woman should have never been out there in a combat situation trying to kill Ellie. So you're like, oh man, I feel weird about this ending.
We're not doing that tonight.
I know, but so there's nothing from part 2 in this. Like they didn't add anything, I assume, right? I assume I would have seen that. Okay. No, I still say so. Like I go all the way back to Colin and Greg when they were still at IGN. We're like, man, I feel like Joel's the bad guy, and Neil Druckmann said he's not the bad guy. That is never what we intended. Like it's. I have never, like, I played through it once.
No, I wouldn't say he is a bad guy.
No, I know.
But I'm telling, and that's what I think 2 tells us is I know both sidesing is, how dare you in today's world, but like there's multiple sides to everything. And I think that's what 2 teaches us. And when you go back and play 1, I'm not even saying because of what we find out in 2, but just you really think about the bigger picture and you're like, was that the right move? I mean, it probably wasn't. I get why he did what he did, and I'm not saying I wouldn't have done that, but that's probably not the right.
But don't we find out that there was no, not even close to a guarantee. Bye, John. There was no even close to a guarantee that they would have had a cure.
I mean, we don't know. We'll never know.
I'm pretty sure we heard that too, but I don't know for sure. Whatever.
Maybe.
You can get revenge by like, boom, I kill you. Or you can get revenge by, capping somebody in the freaking knee with a shotgun and then beating them to. I said we weren't going to put
an eye for an eye.
No, that's not an eye for an eye.
Well,
he shot dude.
End.
No, he shot dude and he went, boom, you're dead. Boom, done. Okay. She's like,
well,
boom, and then
on my playthrough, I went a little over the top in my playthrough.
Good.
Because they all just stand there. I took out my flamethrower and just that was pretty fun.
Well, that's like when I get to the boss fight against a certain main character, I was like, kill me. Just kill me. Boom. 5 times in a row. Just kill me. I want to see how many times I can die because I hate this stupid character. Whatever. I didn't get to play it a lot this week because it's just, like I said, Jess was out of town. I feel like crap. But I texted Sean a few days ago and I was like, I played it for like an hour. I got to the first bloater fight and I was like, I had forgotten how freaking good this game is. Like, it is one of the best stories ever told in a game, period. And that's it. Yeah. That's just hard stop. I don't see how anyone can argue against that. And even, it's not even just like the actual story of the game. It's when you're playing through the world and you're looking around, and especially now with the remake, I'm like, by the way, have you ever thought about this? I don't think I texted you this. Why are all these buildings falling down and shit? Like, it's just clickers running around that are zombies. Like, why are they knocking buildings down and all this crap? That was one thing I thought about, but that's like, I got to get out of my head and whatever.
I think it's just this is what, decades have passed, like 20 years or something.
Thank you,
I think it's just the crumbling.
I think it's more of like
there's no people left to maintain anything. And imagine if there's ever like an earthquake, like anything, like that's over. It. Nothing's ever getting fixed. And,
well,
with all the flooding and crap lately, but that's why everything's underwater. And there's not like, I think just if anything bad happens, it's just bad forever because there's no people left to fix what happened. And it just adds up over time, I guess.
That's what I think. Like when I go out in the backyard and I've let the dogs out to pee and I'm looking at all these weeds and stuff in my flower beds, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I could see how this could get just completely just engulf my entire house.
Well, the other thing that was just throughout the whole game, I was just in awe. First of all, I know when this was out on PS3, it looked nothing like this. But just the fact that this game exists on a PS3, I think is pretty unbelievable. Yes. But just the fact that like people that make video games in general, like my hat's off to you. I don't know how anybody can do that. But I feel like it's a lot easier to make a city or a building than this, like a crumbling, falling, like just when you go into like the hotels and the dorms and all these things, and it's like you don't just have to make what you've seen in the past, just I remember what dorms look like, put it in a game. Like you almost have to start there and then be like, okay, what could have theoretically happened, and where could there be things falling apart, and what would this look like if it was like how, like just the fact physically, the fact that they could program this and make this game, but just how do you like come up with this idea in your head of what the world would look like?
I know.
Just like it blows my mind.
Like I wouldn't even think, like if I was making this game and I was like, okay, these clickers have taken over the world and all this because there's this fungus and everything, whatever. I would be like, okay, yeah, I can put like weeds on the buildings and stuff, but I would never be like, well, buildings had fallen over. Like I wouldn't even think to do that. You know what I mean? Like there's so many little touches, and especially because this is 20 plus years, I think, after the opening to the game, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then Joel's walking around with his broken watch. I'm just like, it's, man. So yeah, I had the ending spoiled for me when they did the trailer for the PS4 version at E3 2014. I already knew what the ending was, kinda. I knew the gist of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, well, okay, so I know how this is going to end, and that's awesome. But like, again, I feel like if I wouldn't have had either of those two things spoiled for me, I would be playing through this game right now and saying, this is the best game ever made.
It's way up there for me. Like, I don't think I've given it the appropriate credit that it deserved. But I mean,
well, because it didn't,
it's like, unbelievable.
No. And I know it's like, it depends who you talk to, what you think about the PS3 version or the PS4 version. Like I was telling James before Last of Us Part 2 came out, I tried to go back and play The Last of Us on PS4. It did not hold up. There was something about it. It just felt clunky. It didn't work. It looked beautiful and everything. Now this looks even more beautiful. The story's the same, but it does play better. I mean, Joel can't go prone. I get that. He's a big dude, whatever. They would have to change the level layout and everything to give you all the stuff you could do in Last of Us Part 2. I get that. So I think that the gameplay in Last of Us Part 2 is a little bit better. The story in this one is just, to me, all jokes aside, I think it's so much better than the second one. I think this is, again, I would probably say top 2 stories ever told. I don't even put Uncharted 4 up there. It's more the ending for Uncharted 4. So for me, actually, yeah, this is the second best story ever told in the game that I've played. It's Metal Gear Solid 3, and it's this.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh,
that being said,
Metal Gear Solid 3 is number 1. Thank you.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe not that.
Is my ear red? No, not anymore.
I don't think it's going to happen. Well, I don't know. It might happen. I am tempted now to go back and play through 2 again. I don't hate the game. I definitely like it, but it definitely
you like it way more than I do.
Oh yeah.
It's just so like, it, all jokes aside, it's way too long. It is
it's very long. Like, I feel like by the time you get to that part,
you're like, oh my God,
like, what?
I got to do all this. It feels like
you've already played through a whole game.
Yes.
In hindsight, you probably really hadn't. That would have been probably a relatively short game. So
it was 8 to 9 hours, I would say.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not unreasonable. But by the end, like once you get to the end of what I would call the second part, that seems like that should be the end of the game.
And
then there's a lot more. I think that third act, how I would call it, I'm not saying it didn't need to be there, but it didn't need to be as long as it was. I think it gets drawn out a little bit too much.
I think it made no sense from a narrative perspective. Why would you leave what you have and go do that? Why would Tommy say what he said to her to go do that? And even if he did say it, why would you go do it? It doesn't make any sense. Now, the one thing I will say, the actual level of that was awesome. The playground and everything, it was awesome because you got the dudes chained up and stuff and you could do that. Like it was so, but then you get to the end fight and I'm like, what the hell was the point of this? There's no point. So I guess we're putting it on trial right here. There was no point to that final boss fight at all. I was like, why? You came all this way to do nothing. Nothing. You lost everything. You lost your finger. You're trying to play the guitar like this now. Like,
yeah.
But Last of Us Part 1 is awesome. And I do think we're getting Last of Us Part 3.
I wouldn't be surprised, yeah.
I don't think we should. I don't think we needed
part
I mean,
2. That's another matter.
But. Well, yeah. But I think, I don't even know. It's probably going to be a freaking buddy cop thing. And I'm going to kill myself. But did you play anything else this week, Sean?
I think there's like a helicopter landing on my house right now.
Well, that could be trouble.
That was very loud.
I didn't hear it. So I mean, that's cool.
Other than Fortnite, no.
Oh, yeah. James, I said I would mention it. I had fun playing Fortnite. So
I definitely had fun. Yeah.
Oh, my God. It was so much fun. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So it was me, Sean, James, and Chris. And we had so much fun playing this stupid game. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was like, I don't even know. I was like, I think I got 2 kills in 4 rounds. But it was so much fun without having to worry about building. I will say, oh my God, it's just fun when you're playing with friends.
That's definitely the way to play it. Yeah. I hate the building aspect of it. I don't know, but no, it was definitely fun. I would do it again. Chris got a Kamehameha or whatever it's called, Kamehameha to win it. We won our first 3 rounds, right? And then we lost the 4th, and I was tired. And then we lost, yeah. But I do see how Fortnite's fun. I had a lot of fun with it. But you have to play this with friends. I would not want to play it by myself. That's not fun. Agreed. Playing with you and James and Chris, that was fun. And all of us being in a party and just the 2 of us, Sean and I are like Jim Halpert. Jim Halperting it. Yeah, we're just jumping in the corner, throwing grenades in ourselves and everything. But yeah, it was a blast. And yeah, we got to keep doing these little not even community nights because you can't get that many people in there, but these meetups and stuff to play random multiplayer games. Not that Fortnite's random, you know what I mean? Right. Yeah. But yeah, it was a blast. I'm glad we got to do it. And yes, James, it was fun. I had fun with Fortnite. I hope you're happy. Sean. Yes. You want to get into a busy news week? Let's do it. All right, Sean. So this was a big week when it comes to presentations, showcases, whatever. We did not get a showcase from Sony, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. The first thing I want to talk about is the Nintendo Direct. So we're going to go through this in order. There's some things I did not put on here because there's some things that I just couldn't even bear to talk about. I feel like people either loved this Direct or they hated it. And I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. I don't know about you. I didn't hate it. I just don't care. Like it was just nothing to me. Yeah. For me, it was Tuesday. It was Tuesday.
I was going to put that as the thumbnail for this, but like, I don't know that I can get a good enough image of Raul Julia, but, all right, so let's go through this in order. And again, I didn't get everything, but there was like 75 games talked about in this. So I got what I could. The first game shown was Fire Emblem Engage. It's out January 20th, 2023. The one thing I will say about this, Fire Emblem is not for me, but at least it's not a Dynasty Warriors kind of game.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking down this list and I can't remember what that I saw. It all just blended together. Like we were saying in the Discord earlier, yes. I feel like everything was some kind of farming sim / Animal Crossing
JRPG,
knockoff.
Yeah.
Or it was, a JRPG with identical graphics and animation style and all the same like 2D pictures of the characters with their little text box
like,
down at the bottom. Like,
I am going to fight you. And then they're like, no, I will fight you.
It was just,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember what was what. It all just blended together for me.
No, I get it. So neither of us care about this. It Takes Two is out November 4th. Honestly, I thought this was already out on Switch.
I kind of would have assumed it was, but I had never really thought about it, I guess.
Yeah. Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is out early 2023. This is a remake of the Wii game. Tunic is out September 27th, which I'm pretty sure is the same day it comes out to PlayStation. Are you going to play this? Are you still out?
I'll probably check it out. I'm not like, can't wait for that game to come out so I can get a platinum, but like, I'll check it out. And I don't know. But I mean, I don't know. Wait, do we know? Is it PS Plus or we don't know?
I don't know. It's not. Yeah.
Then I don't know. I may wait. It seems like it will be a PS Plus game at some point. So I'm not in any huge rush. I do want to play it, but I don't know if I'm going to like it. Certainly not enough to, what is it, $20, I assume?
Yeah, 2025, I'm sure. But like, to me, like I played Death's Door for an hour and then I just fell off it because I was trying to just hit people with a freaking umbrella and whatever.
Right.
But like, I wanted it to be top-down Zelda with a fox, and it was way more Souls-ish than I thought it would be. So because of that, I was like, I just don't like this. I mean, you can adjust the difficulty, you can give yourself God mode, whatever for fights, but like I've been following this game for like 4 or 5 years now, whenever it was first announced. And when I finally played it, I was like, yeah, this is not what I thought it was going to be. So,
yeah.
The Front Mission remake is out in November. Front Mission 2 remake is out next year. And Front Mission 3 is coming in the future. Octopath Traveler 2 is out February 24th. I will say this shocked me because it feels like that game just came out.
Yeah.
The art style in this game still, to me, and I know they did triangle strategy, whatever. It is one of the pretty. I still don't know how they did it. It is so beautiful that it just blows my mind. But I cannot do turn-based games, so I'm not going to play it. But it's coming out February 24th. It's also coming to PS4, PS5, and PC. No Xbox announcement yet, as we're recording this. I saw Schreier say that he was really happy about it, but he said he hopes they fix the issues with the first game, but he didn't say anything about what those issues were. So I don't know, but
I liked the first one, but I don't think I ever actually beat it, but I got probably pretty close to the end. This being on PS4, PS5, not just Switch, makes me much more likely to play the sequel than I would have been if it was just on Switch, but I don't know. We'll see. There's gonna be a lot to play beginning of next year. So
yep. We'll get to that at the end of this segment. Fae Farm. is coming out spring 2023. This was the first of the farming simulator things that was shown. Again, a lot of these games look the same. Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line got a trailer and it's coming out soon or something. The only reason that I even put this in here was because I was watching a video from the completionist, Gerard, where he was going through his top 10 DS games. And this game, or a version of this game, made the list. And I was like, this is actually kind of cool. It's like, it's not Guitar Hero where it's all going up. It's all going to the side. You got to go down, up, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's cool. It's nothing I would ever pay money for.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. And there's like Nier tracks and Final Fantasy tracks and all that. So yeah, I don't know. Do you care?
Not enough to spend money on it, but again, it's one of those games that if I could play for free, I would definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I love Final Fantasy music, but I don't know.
Rune Factory 3 Special is officially coming out next year. There's also a new Rune Factory game in development. Now let's talk about this. Switch Online is getting some N64 updates, including Pilot Wing 64, Mario Party 1, Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 1, Pokemon Stadium 2, 1080 snowboarding, yes, and Excitebike 64. Also, GoldenEye is a quote unquote coming soon. It's also going to be available on Xbox, on Rare Replay, and Game Pass, but you can only play online on Switch. What the frick? Why?
First of all, I love that there's like, hey, here's a whopping 9 new games coming to Switch Online
by the end of next year.
They'll all be out over the next year and a half. Like,
yeah.
If they were all getting the GoldenEye treatment where, you know, you're adding a little something to it, okay. But like, this should not take this long to do. I will never understand Nintendo's strategy with this Switch Online virtual console crap that they're trying to do. But yeah.
So will you come over here and play GoldenEye 1v1 me on my Xbox Series S?
I will. What I'm curious about is I'm almost positive this came out because it was an N64 game. This was in the time where like you aimed, you moved the camera, whatever you want to call it, with the C buttons. And I'm hoping they've updated it. And it's not just like Mario All-Stars 2 or whatever that game was, where it's like, nah, here's the games. We didn't touch nothing. I'm hoping you can like move the camera and aim with the right stick, and they're not going to make you like
you can
use like the YXBA buttons and place it the C button. Like
at least on Xbox you can, and it's 4K 60. It's widescreen. Okay. So I don't know about the Switch version because that looked like it was still 4:3. So I don't know, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I've ever actually. No, I definitely played GoldenEye in college, but I was like, I have no idea what the hell. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, yeah. Next up, Mario Strikers Battle League got its second free update coming this month. Atelier Ryza 3 is coming out February 24th, 2023. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 3 DLC is coming out this holiday with 2 tracks. So we're never getting Mario Kart 9.
Nope.
I mean, at this point, Mario Kart is a live service, right?
Basically, yeah.
Switch Sports Golf has been delayed until this holiday season. I don't know what they're like.
Yeah, I don't know at what point we all collectively became okay with this thing where they're like, whether it's Halo or Switch Sports or Mario Strikers, where they're like, the game's not done yet, but
Street Fighter 5.
Let's go ahead and put it out now. We'll add the rest of it later on. Yeah, Street Fighter 5. Like, when did we just like, I mean, I'm kind of torn on it. I think they've done a good job at just being like, hey, here's the game, and you get free stuff later on. It's like, no, this was supposed to be part of the game to begin with. I paid for the game. You just didn't give me the whole game yet. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. And the fact that it's getting delayed, like, what are we doing? But I mean, I don't care.
What are we doing? Also, oh my God, you should have had this game ready to go when the Switch launched. Not one,
yeah,
two,
this should have been a
Switch.
launch title.
Thank you. Like this is just, it boggles my mind. I'm boggled, but yeah. At least it's still coming. Let's see. Pikmin 4 is coming 2023. Did you ever play Pikmin? Is it like Lemmings or something? Maybe.
So I played the previous one. I did not care for it. It's like you go around, you have all these little, I guess they're Pikmin, and you like collect like not an army, but like a bunch of them. And the more you have, the more they can do. They can like lift things and move things. I don't know. I was very confused. So I was playing Last of Us while this was on. I just had it on my phone, and anytime I heard something, my ears would perk up. I'd look at it, whatever. But I know before Pikmin 4 was announced, they were talking about some like mobile game.
Yes.
And then they moved on. They said something like, and now the main event or something like that. And I'm like, oh, are we at the end already? And so I pick up my phone and I'm watching, and then all of a sudden it's Pikmin. And I'm like, you guys are not closing this with Pikmin, right? And then luckily they did. I think they were just saying, yeah, there's all the Pikmin mobile stuff, and now here's the real Pikmin game. But like when I heard what they said, I'm like, I thought that was like their closer. And I'm like, A, this is really short. And B, Pikmin, really? This is what we're ending with? And I know people love Pikmin, but I'm like, come on. But yeah, luckily that was not the end.
No, I agree. I think like, so they said this was going to be 40 minutes. I think it went 45 or 46, give or take. But yeah, when Pikmin 4, when he showed the shirt and everything, I was like, oh my God, is this it really? But it was not. Harvestella has a demo out now, and your save data moves over to the full game. Another farming sim. Bayonetta 3 got a new trailer. There's a 7-minute gameplay trailer on the YouTubes right now. It's still coming out in October, so that's good. So Sean, you got a chance in the fantasy draft.
I just need it to get like a 20 out of 10. And I'll be back in business.
Resident Evil Village Cloud is out on Switch October 28th. The demo is out right now. Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 Cloud versions are coming this year. I don't care enough to actually do this, but I'm tempted to download. Just try it.
I kind of want to see what this plays like, this whole cloud thing. Because if it's anything like I've harped on in the past, if it's anything like trying to stream a PS3 game on PS5, if it's that quality, I'm out. And so I don't know how these cloud games actually play, but it's hilarious that apparently the Switch can't even play games that were on PS4. Like, is the Switch the equivalent of like PS3? Like, what?
Without the
it's
cell.
just ridiculous that it's just so weird.
Well,
I don't know.
I have not tried anything on cloud with Switch. The one thing I've heard was from Sam Claiborne, who works at IGN, and he's usually on GameScoop. He tried Hitman 3 cloud on Switch, and he said it was just like the most unplayable thing you've ever seen in your life. So
really,
yeah, I don't have a lot of hope for this, but Sifu is coming for Switch at some point. I don't think we got a date, but it is coming. So that's cool. Also, we got a release date for Crisis Core Reunion, December 13th. I think this looks freaking awesome. All I know about this is that it's Zack and Cloud and Sephiroth somehow, and they're on the same team. Like, I don't even know. I don't want to know, but like, this looks really cool to me.
It's basically a prequel.
Right. But why is Cloud? But how? But it's not like a time-bending thing.
If you've played 7, the original,
right,
I would like to say it would make sense.
Okay.
But I've played 7, the original, multiple times, and I still can't tell you how all that stuff resolves itself. I've read the Wikipedia page multiple times, and I'll be like, oh, that's right. And then I always forget. And even when I have just read it, I'm still not entirely sure that my brain puts it all together. I don't know. That whole, like, I love that game and the overall story, but all of the, like, Cloud, Sephiroth, Zack relationship stuff, I never seem to be able to remember how that all actually plays out. But
did you watch did you watch all that video that I sent you?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Thanks.
No problem.
Jackass. I'm hyped for it. Like it's not like I'm not hyped for this like I am. What's number 2 called? Rebirth, I think. Like 7 Remake 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not hyped like I am for that, but yeah, I'm excited for it. What I got next here. Radiant Silvergun is out right now on Switch. This was a top-down vertical scrolling shooter made by Treasure, who made
Gunstar Heroes.
Yes, sir. So just because of that, I'm like, well, I feel like I should buy it just because. And I feel like, didn't we talk about on the podcast a few weeks ago that like Treasure was teasing something? They were teasing some kind of like announcement or something. If this was it, I'm like, man, I thought we were going to get Gunstar Heroes 3.
Yeah, that may be it.
Yeah, but whatever. It looks really good. Tales of Symphonia is getting remastered and it's coming out early 2023. It's also coming to PS4 and PS5. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is out February 24th, 2023. This is a remake of the Wii game. I will say this. When I saw this, I saw Deluxe and I was like, oh, this must be a remake, but this looks awesome. This is what I want from Kirby. I don't want some stupid 3D platformer. Like, this is what I want from Kirby. This looks awesome to me. Did you know this was a Wii game? Do you care about playing it on Switch?
I do not remember this on the Wii at all. I don't know how much this is a remaster as opposed to, a remake as opposed to just like a remaster. Right. I don't know what the original one was. I don't even remember its existence, but it did look fun. Yeah.
And then we got to the show closer and I was on mute because I was on a 3-hour conference call this morning. But when this happened and I was not talking at the conference call, I was like, oh, it's happening. So I turned up the volume and we officially got the reveal of the name for Breath of the Wild 2, which is now The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, coming out May 12th, 2023. I want to play this game. I'm going to get it, period. The only 3D Zelda I haven't played to this point, I'm pretty sure, is Wind Waker. We'll get to that here in a second. I just don't know. Like, I want to know, do we still have breakable weapons? Do we still have 4 dungeons? And that's it. Like, I don't know. What did you think about the trailer? Like, my non-cynical heart thought, holy crap, this looks freaking awesome. But
I'm going to get it day one because I have to. And I'm sure as it gets closer, my hype level will increase. But right now, I'm just like, I wish. This is probably the least excited I have been for a new Zelda game, not counting like the DS games.
Yeah.
Ever, probably. I mean, going back at least to like the Game Boy Color game. Like, this is the least excited I've been about a Zelda game that has come out on a system that I owned ever. And I hate that. I really want it to be good, but I'm just like, I see this and I'm like, this looks like Breath of the Wild. And everything that everybody says, as much as I hate it, about how Ragnarok is just God of War DLC, it looks the same, he gets in the boat the same way.
That's crap.
That's kind of how I feel about this. It's like, it looks identical. It's, as far as we know, on the same map, but now there's like a bunch of rocks and crap in the sky. And I'm like, okay, I didn't really care for the map. I mean, in the beginning I did, but in hindsight, meh. Well, honestly, the map, the overworld map of Breath of the Wild was probably the best part of it. However, I didn't like that there was just nothing. And I get it. It's in the future. Everything's in ruins, whatever. But like, there's just a whole bunch of nothing. And now this is apparently going to be in that same world, but there's some stuff up in the sky you can also go to. But all that makes me think of, which is not good, is Skyward Sword. And when you're flying in like the overworld before you skydive down to the bottom, there's a bunch of little islands and stuff. And ooh, that one has a heart piece. And ooh, this one has a bug that you can catch with a net. And this one has a guy that you can talk to get a thing to take to that other guy who gives you a thing that takes to that guy. And it's just like that kind of crap. I'm hoping there's more to the sky world, whatever it is in this one, but I'm not that excited about it. And I know this is not a outlandish statement on this podcast, but in the grand scheme of things, hot take, I would 1,000,000% rather have a new 2D Zelda game than this. Like Link Between Worlds 2. I mean, maybe not, because the spiritual successor to Link Between Worlds, I would so much rather have that than
freaking remake the Oracle games. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Just do the Oracle games in like the graphical style of the Link's Awakening game. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm still just seeing a new Legend of Zelda title, art, whatever. I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait. And then I'm like, but I'm still going to be fighting people with a friggin' stick and it's going to break. And then I'm going to get the Master Sword and that's going to break for 30 minutes or whatever it is. I don't know. Like, I wish we knew more about this right now.
I'm guessing it's going to be the same. And we saw a little bit of it, like where you don't really have items. You've got your little tablet that does, like he's doing something with like the yellow thing where he's doing something and
and you could hear the sound too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just going to be, all right, you can make little virtual bombs that explode. You can probably do your magnesis thing to like move things around. But I'm like, I want a boomerang. I want real bombs. I want a hook shot. I want some new item. Like every game has new items. I want that. That is Zelda to me. And maybe we'll still get it. Maybe we'll be surprised. But when I look at this game and it looks identical to the last one, taking place basically in the same world, why has this taken
6 years? Yeah.
6 years? It'll be 6 years?
Yeah. Over 6.
Oh God, it was 2017. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, and I'm hoping, like, the math doesn't work out in my head. So I'm hoping they're going to throw a curveball. Like, they have to have changed some stuff.
Yeah.
But like, this takes place after the last one.
Yeah.
Everything in the last one is already in ruins. So unless another 100 years have passed and this is a different Link and civilization has come back and started building towns and whatever again, I'm like, it's just going to be another big empty world, but you can also go to the floating rocks in the sky. I don't know.
But see, I think that's
how not excited I am for this game.
I think that's how they get around the barren world, is having it be these different islands, whatever. I do wonder how this is going to be received, because obviously when we play this game, it's going to be, we start with 3 hearts and 1 stamina meter and probably a friggin' stick, whatever. I wonder how that's, because so many people have put hundreds. I didn't, but I probably put 80, 90 hours into the Breath of Wild. I wonder how it's going to be received when you go from putting that many hours into one of the best-selling games of all time. It sold 30, 40 million, whatever it was. I can't remember. And now you have to start over.
You're the same person in the same world.
Exactly.
But all of a sudden, yeah, you lost everything you had. Like, I mean, I get it. It's a video game. That's how video games work. But like, I don't know. I feel like something's not, I don't know. Something just seems off.
So to me, I think the name's cool. But again, like I said in Discord, we've been calling this Breath of the Wild 2 for like 2 or 3 years now. If they do somehow get rid of the breakable weapons and give us like 8 to 10 dungeons, if they somehow confirm that before this game is out, I'm in. Like, I'm in all the way. I don't care.
I mean, I think I'm in regardless, but
well,
like,
I mean, I'm in.
That would be, that's what would save it for me. If the overworld is more or less the same, it's going to take, like you said, 6, 7, 8 real dungeons, not a bunch of little 2-minute long shrines. It's going to take something like that to really win me over. And like I said, I already know I'm probably going to get it day one, but there's also the thing of like, hey, all those shrines that were down there, well, they're still there. If it's the same world, they're still there, but we're not going to go there.
Right.
But then how are you going to have a bunch of new dungeons? It's the same world we were already in. Where were those dungeons before? There's just a lot of things that don't seem to add up, that either A, we're going to be pleasantly surprised, or B, it's just going to be written off as you're thinking too much about it. It's just a video game. Who cares? It's the same reason why you always play in Hyrule and it always looks different. Like, I get it. It's Zelda. You can just kind of write it off.
So what do you think about Tears of the Kingdom?
I don't know. It means nothing to me. I thought...
Yes.
Isn't this the thing they were saying? We're like, we don't want to give away the name yet because it's going to give away too much. So either A, they're full of it, or B, they change the name, because that doesn't tell us anything.
All it means is they're
Breath
sad.
of the Wild.
They're sad because the
mean
freaking
anything.
rocks floated up. That's what it means. They're sad because the rocks floated up and Hyrule is now in the sky. That's what I think it means.
Right. Yeah. And Breath of the Wild meant nothing. In hindsight, it was just breath. I don't know. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's a new take on Zelda.
It's
and
just
wild. It's just a big open world. Breath of the Wild. I don't know. Like, I don't think in previous Zelda games, like Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time, these are all called, they're basically just like objects in the game.
Right.
It makes sense why you call the game that, because that's why. Breath of the Wild meant nothing. I'm not entirely sure if this means anything. It probably doesn't. They're just like, well, it's a sequel to Breath of the Wild, so we got to call it something of the something.
Something, yeah.
And they're just like, what's that called? Give me a verb. Give me an adjective. Mad Libs. It almost just seems like Mad Libs. They were just like blank of the blank. I don't know. Kingdom? Something of the kingdom? Tears? Does that sound good? Tears of the Kingdom? Let's just go with that. Like, or
tears. It could be tears. Who knows?
Or tears.
It could just be tearing up the
kingdom
ground.
has been torn apart.
Yeah. Oh God. I will say, all that being said, I'm still gonna get this game day one. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
Final thoughts. So the rumors were saying we were gonna get Wind Waker on Switch, Twilight Princess on Switch. And we're finally going to hear about Metroid Prime Remaster. We got none of those. Also, no Mario. Thank you for saying that in the Discord, because I've been saying this forever. Like, it's been 5 freaking years since Odyssey came out. What the hell are they doing? I don't want any more Mario sports games. Like you said, I want a new 3D Mario. I want Super Mario Galaxy 3, or I want Super Mario Brothers 4. That's what I want. So, yeah. I went to a place right there. What'd you think overall? I thought it was a fine showcase. I'm glad we got the name for Zelda. We got some other cool announcements, but overall it was pretty much what I expected.
Yeah, I don't know that I would say I'm disappointed. It's basically what I expected, which was a whole bunch of stuff that I don't care about. And so it's I mean, I wasn't disappointed. It played out exactly like I thought it would. And I would have loved to see Wind Waker, Twilight, Metroid, whatever. Like, but there's no part of
just
me
one of those.
Even for a
just
second.
One.
Yeah, no part of me ever expected that. I'm like, if it happens, great. I'll be over the moon. But there's no way I'm giving this even an ounce of my excitement. Like, I'm like, I don't trust Nintendo. I can't imagine if they were going to do this, they would have already done it, at least with the Zelda stuff. Metroid Prime, I've got to imagine that is still coming, but I'm like, I'm not holding my breath.
They're waiting for 4 is what I have to assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I thought it was fine. All right. So now, speaking of underwhelming, let's get to the Sony state of play. And I was too tired to put all this into the document, so I'm going to look at my phone. Sony led off the state of play with Tekken 8 being announced. Looks cool. I mean, they teased this at EVO. Everybody assumed it was Tekken 8, but now Tekken 8 has officially been confirmed. Have you ever even played Tekken?
No. Okay. I've never played Tekken. Maybe in a random arcade at some point, but like, if you said, hey, a new Tekken is out, I would have been like, what, Tekken 5? Tekken 6? Like, Tekken 8? Are you kidding me? Like, I had no idea there had been that many. But
also, can we get Virtua? Just give us Virtua Fighter 6.
Yeah.
And then they announced Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition for PSVR 2. I was shocked. I really thought, because I do this to myself every freaking time, I really thought they were going to announce Half-Life Alyx PSVR 2 launch. So I'm stupid, I guess. Coming in 2023, Yakuza Ishin. It's already been out in Japan. It's coming west to PS4 and PS5 in February of 2023, it looks like. Pacific Drive is coming out in 2023. This was just, I will say this. You didn't have your hopes up at all, right? For this freaking thing?
No.
This is not, can we get a showcase? Can we see something other than God of War? Like, I didn't even want to see, like, I love God of War. I cannot wait to play it, but we need something. I can't wait.
But yeah, like, they basically announced Last of Us 1 and then it came out.
And that's it.
They announced God of War, what, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? I don't know when. I mean, Ragnarok. But like,
Derek, I've got
to imagine there's more Horizon. I mean, besides Call of the Mountain.
They got to have DLC coming, yeah.
We'll get more Horizon coming. We'll get probably Ghost 2 at some point. We'll probably get Last of Us 3. But like, after God of War, okay, we know we've got Spider-Man coming in a while and Wolverine coming a while after that. Yeah. But other than that, like, what are we doing? Coming? So, yeah.
Derek said, before I go, God of War is the last modern game I'm interested in, and then I'm tapping out. I'm kind of like that too. PlayStation Stars loyalty program. We got a sneak peek at the digital collectibles because we really need this in a state of play. Then we got a game called Sinduality. It's a shooter. Then we got Project Eve, which has now been renamed to Stellar Blade. It is coming out in 2023. Are you excited, Sean?
I don't remember what that one was.
Okay. Rise of the Ronin from Team Ninja is coming out in 2024. But hey, cool. God of War Ragnarok is getting a new, cool DualSense controller.
I like it. I don't know
what is the bear and the wolf? Like, I know,
I'm sure it'll make sense when you play, but
like, I get it with Atreus and everything. I get one side of it, but the bear, like, he's just, I get it, I guess, but like
if PlayStation ever did a controller studio thing, that's probably what I would make. Like, I love that color scheme, the blue and the white. Like, I think it looks awesome. I don't know that I'm going to get it because I really don't need a third controller. But I like it. It looks pretty sweet.
No, I agree. This state of play was pretty much what I expected. When they call it a state of play and not a showcase, I'm like, okay, you're not getting Metal Gear, you're not getting Silent Hill, you're not getting Castlevania, you're not getting, factions, you're not getting any of that stuff that PlayStation fans would want. You're going to get a bunch of random stuff which is
We didn't
what we
even
got.
see Final Fantasy 16, which
No.
I kind of figured we would, but
Well, I assume we were going to get another freaking Forspoken trailer just because. I thought this was very underwhelming, but also not surprising in the least.
yeah, I kind of feel about it like I felt about the Nintendo thing. I
think
wasn't
Nintendo
expecting
was better.
much from State of Play. I was expecting even less when I heard it was only 10 games in only 20 minutes. I'm like, all right, if there's anything that crazy that's getting announced, they're probably going to spend more than 2 minutes on it. I don't know. I'm like, I don't really expect much, and that's exactly what I got.
Well, yeah. No showcase. I mean, do we both agree at this point that we should just not be expecting another showcase from Sony?
I don't. Well, I mean, again, I'm not holding my breath. I would think we'd get one by the end of the year, but I don't know. Maybe not.
I mean, last year they did a showcase in September, and now we got this. So yeah. Next up, Sean, when it comes to showcases, Ubisoft had their Ubisoft Forward event, and it was very focused on Assassin's Creed. Several new games in the Assassin's Creed series were announced, as well as the formal unveiling of Assassin's Creed Mirage, a new smaller adventure launching next year. Mario plus Rabbids, that they also announced Codename Red, which is set in Japan, and Codename Hex as upcoming Assassin's Creed games. Also, they talked about Assassin's Creed Infinity, and how they're going to have standalone multiplayer experiences and all that. But yeah, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope got a new teaser trailer talking about how the Rabbids are coming after the game releases on October 20th. We got new trailers for Skull and Bones. The long in development pirate game showed off the war of the Indian Ocean between the pirates and the corporations that prowl the sea. What corporations were what was there corporations back then? What are we talking about? What the hell is that even talking about? Corporations were prowling the seas back in like the freaking 1300s. Just Dance 2023 edition is coming, of course. It's not coming to the Wii, which is crazy. Rainbow Six Mobile, the free-to-play tactical shooters, entering closed beta in select territories beginning September 12th, blah, blah, blah. They also showed some new details on the future of Division. The Division Year 5 is currently in development, and Division Heartland also received a new trailer showing off the game's location. The free-to-play survival shooter is set in Silver Creek, a small town in Middle America. The Crew 2 will introduce new ice tracks as part of its 6th season, which begins actually yesterday. And also in collaboration with Konami, Ubisoft announced that Simon Belmont and Alucard will be joining Brawlhalla as playable characters on October 19th. Can I say, Sean, this is why I miss E3. Ubisoft announced 3 or 4 freaking Assassin's Creed games. And that's it. 2 of them have code names. They also announced that they're going to do standalone multiplayer games to connect to the new Assassin's Creed Infinity hub thing. This is exactly why I miss E3. This never, ever, ever, and I'm so glad I did not watch this. This never should have been like Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now that I've seen trailers and stuff, it does actually look pretty cool, especially only for $50. This never should have been a quote unquote showcase. This whole thing was a joke. What do you think?
I mean, I didn't watch either. And then I basically saw, okay, it's a bunch of Assassin's Creed games. Okay, cool. Wake me up when you have something to show.
I mean, we know they're working on the Splinter Cell remake, but like, they're not going to show anything for 2 years or something. Also, all this talk about online stuff and everything, I'm like, man, Ubisoft is going to screw this up. I know there was reports from Grub that we're getting, Assassins or not, what's it called? Immortals, like the spiritual, like not a real sequel, but we're getting something set in Polynesian culture and everything. I don't think that game ever comes out. I think they're going all in on mobile and games as a service, and I hate it. And I don't even know that I believe that Splinter Cell Remake's actually going to come out.
I'm not saying it's not going to, but that's another one that I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Right. All right. Last item on the news list. PlayStation has said that Xbox's offer to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation was quote unquote inadequate. Earlier this week, this comes from Push Square, Microsoft bigwig Phil Spencer publicly revealed that the company had provided a, quote, signed agreement to Sony that would guarantee Call of Duty remains on PlayStation consoles for several more years, beyond the Japanese giant's current marketing agreement with Activision Blizzard. It was, at that time, assumed that the PlayStation maker had signed, but Sony's suit, Jim Ryan, has bitten back, describing the offer as inadequate. In a popcorn-inducing statement to GamesIndustry.biz, the executive explained that, quote, that he, quote, hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but he feels the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum, end quote. He said, quote, Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account on the impact of our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers. I'm picturing Jim Ryan saying gamers, and I just picture him with a friggin' controller. Continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle, end quote. I think we can just touch on this real quick. I am not a Microsoft fan, as everyone knows. But I kind of feel like Sony and Jim Ryan are being whiny little bitches.
I'm so sick of hearing about this. I don't understand. Like, Xbox owes Sony nothing.
Yep.
For Sony to just sit there and be like, that is inadequate. If I was Xbox, I'd be like, oh, really? Okay. Well, then you don't even get your 3 years. It's exclusive from now on.
You get 24. So the current deal is supposed to end in 24, and that's all you get. Yeah.
So like, I don't know. And like, yeah, I'm a Sony fanboy, whatever. But like, hello, we've got Last of Us, God of War, Horizon. We have so many games that are exclusive to Sony, and I'm thankful for it. But like, why is this such a big deal? And I get it's Call of Duty, it's a different realm. Like, I get it, but like, shut up. It's like they're just acting like two spoiled children, and I'm sick of hearing about it at this point.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know. I do not get it.
It's like, honestly, if I'm being honest, like, I want to take PlayStation's side, and I get what they're saying, but like, holy crap, like they're telling you that until 2027 you can have Call of Duty for a franchise that they completely own. They're not asking you to put freaking God of War on Microsoft, like on Xbox. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like, I get it because it was an acquisition and everything, but like, well, Sony's got Spider-Man. Well, we found out a few months ago that Microsoft could have had him. I get that. And then Sony bought Insomniac. Insomniac has made games for Xbox, whatever. I don't know. I'm just,
I think the only difference is, and I really feel like I'm reaching here, but like, yeah, it's an acquisition of obviously an existing studio, and it's all about an existing IP.
One IP. Yeah.
One IP, one very big IP.
Yeah.
But like, and I know that Insomniac existed before they were owned by Sony. I get it. But like, well, I guess I don't know. I was going to say when Sony bought Insomniac that was before Spider-Man.
No, they bought them after.
Oh, okay.
But they signed
if
they
Sony
signed a
bought,
deal to make Spider-Man. But before that, they made freaking Jet Set Radio, whatever the hell that game was called. No, Sunset Overdrive. Yeah. I went way too far back in my mind bank. But yeah, they made Sunset Overdrive as a Microsoft exclusive. So yeah.
I don't know. I guess if like Sony's knocking their first party games out of the park.
Yeah.
Hands down, no debate. I think this, like, I don't think there's an argument to be made. Like, well, why doesn't The Last of Us come to Xbox? Why doesn't Horizon come to Xbox? Why doesn't God of War come to Xbox? I think that's stupid. We own them. They made these games. Right. They're ours. But if Sony went out and bought Square Enix and said, from now on, Final Fantasy is only coming to Sony or to PlayStation. Okay. I think that's a little weird. So that's the one thing I can at least kind of sort of get behind in all this bickering is, yeah, if you buy a studio that already has an existing IP and then you say, well, that's only on my system now, that's kind of messed up versus just developing, these studios from the ground up and coming up with new IPs and stuff. I do think there is a little bit of a difference, but this is very pot, meat, kettle. So
no, I agree. I think the whole, like, I get why Sony is pissed and I get why they're saying these things. Because, I mean, we're talking about a $70 billion deal. Like, this is unheard of. Like, so I get that, but also, like, let them buy Call of Duty. Let them go have it over there and do Game Pass and make no money at all. You got people on Game Pass. Cool. $10 a month. Okay. Yeah. Call of Duty takes $200 million every year to make. Okay. How's that going to work for you? Like, when does Microsoft, like big Microsoft say, we're done. We can't do this anymore. We're out. It's yours, Sony. Like,
and I just can't imagine there's that many people that don't already have an Xbox Series or at least an Xbox One that don't already have Game Pass or that don't have the system that they're now going to buy so that they can sign up for Game Pass because of this acquisition. Why would you have an Xbox and not have Game Pass? I don't understand.
I do. Yeah.
Acquisition really sell that many more subscriptions to Game Pass? Like, I don't know that it does. And I certainly don't think it sells enough more to fund
to make
these games. Like, I don't know. I don't
No,
understand.
There's no way.
Maybe
like if you have an Xbox and you don't have Game Pass, you're kind of dumb. I don't even know what to tell you. Like, I don't know why you would have. No, you're not dumb. Sorry. That was wrong. If you have an Xbox and you don't have Game Pass, I don't know why you have an Xbox, because you don't have any good games that are first party exclusives there. The only reason you would get it, the reason I have one is for Game Pass. So when Starfield finally comes out and Call of Duty in the future and whatever, like, I just don't know why. Yeah. I think both companies look bad at this point. I do think the Activision acquisition goes through, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Jim Ryan. Hey gamers. This is how I hold my dual sense. All right, Sean, let's run through the wrap up. The studio head of 343, Bonnie Ross, has left after 15 years of working on Halo, and the leadership has been restructured. This was a weird one because it seems like a lot of people are saying this is a really good thing to get her out of there. But also she said she had health issues and family issues or something. So I don't know. Hopefully Halo Infinite can be saved. Amy Hennig revealed her untitled, to this point, Captain America and Black Panther game at D23. Apparently it's set in World War II. You can also play as a U.S. soldier and the leader of the Wakandan spy network. I have high hopes for this, but I don't know what Skydance is actually capable of. So, yeah.
I dig it, but I mean, yeah, who knows what this game's going to end up being,
right.
But I think it should be awesome. I know it's not literally going to be Chris Evans, but I don't want this Joker from the Square Enix Avengers. Like, he just looks like such a turd. Like, give us a good Captain America. I know it can't be Chris Evans, but like, God, give us a good Captain America, please.
I agree. Cyberpunk 2077 is only going to be getting one major expansion, which is called Phantom Liberty. And apparently they're working on a new Cyberpunk game after that comes out. CD Projekt Red also said that their new Witcher saga is expected to include more than one game. I still don't care about this company. So Witcher 3, I think, just the 2 hours or whatever I played with it was the most overrated game I've ever played. Besides, what was the game? The walking sim. What the hell is it called?
Gone Home.
Yeah, that one. Sony has unveiled their new PS5 gray camo color for accessories. I don't know if you like that. Cool, but yeah.
How are you going to find your controller? You'll never see it again.
Can't see me. Sony quietly released a new updated version of the PS5 Yankees one. It's a little bit lighter, but then something happened with like the side plate, so it's actually not light or whatever. But it's got a new motherboard, a new heat sink. But apparently it runs the same, so whatever. We talked a few weeks ago about the Xbox Elite Series 2 white controller. It was now officially revealed as the Xbox Elite Series 2 Core, and it's only $129.99 in USD. Apparently the reason it's cheaper than the other one is that it comes with less accessories. So yeah.
It doesn't come with a carrying case. Like, who's buying a controller and using it so many different places besides their house that they need a designated carrying case for it? I don't understand that. Like,
I cannot wait.
If I owned an Xbox and if I wanted the Elite controller, this is hands down the one I'm getting, because why do I care about a carrying case for a controller?
Well, it's a charging case too. I cannot wait to see.
I mean, I guess
I was being stupid, but I'm saying that is one thing. But I cannot wait to see how expensive the stupid DualSense Edge is going to be. It's going to be $100. It's going to be $200. I'm just calling.
I think it's
right
$150.
Yeah, I'll bet you a Coke that it's at least $180.
Deal.
Okay. Splatoon 3 apparently had the biggest Switch launch in Japan at 3.45 million units sold. What? Oh my God. I don't get it. It's like you just we could put a game on Switch and it's going to sell 10 million copies. It's insane. Apparently Marvel Midnight Suns is actually coming out this year, according to 2K. Ridgeline Games, which was founded by the Halo co-creator Marcus Lato, not related to Jared, or Joker, is working on a narrative-focused Battlefield game. Oh my God. Judge hit 2 homers. Holy crap. He's up to 57.
Wow.
The Switch OLED is getting a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet special edition coming out November 4th. Happy birthday to me. Almost. I mean, I know my birthday. I'm just saying it's almost there. Call of Duty Warzone Mobile was officially announced, and it's getting a reveal by the time this podcast goes live. Also, I just found this funny and also sad. Babylon's Fall is going to be unplayable and canceled after February 27th, 2023. You can no longer buy this game. Like, there's one dude playing it on Steam, I think still, which I don't know how you play a live service game by yourself, but oh my God. It's just so I don't know how Platinum Games is still in business, and Square Enix, like, between this and Avengers, which I'm sure Avengers was a much bigger flop because they had to pay for that license. It's just nuts. But I feel bad for the people that worked on this game. They just made a really, really shitty game. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it for episode 297. Thank y'all so much for being here. We will be back next week. But until that time, Sean, going to take us out?
Thank you for playing.